All right. Rain the Hurricane. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Pretty
Thanks for
good,
thank
pretty
you so
good.
much for having me.
Yeah, yeah, of course, man. Of course, I feel like it took me a while to figure out what we were going to talk about. But after
hmm
hearing your story, I felt like the what I wanted to bring to my audience, and it's been a while since I've uploaded another video, so I'm happy to be back, but what I wanted to bring to my audience from your story was the way you were able to kind of create um, this imagery, right? From where you saw things that kind of were
hmm
signs to you that maybe someone else would pass right by and not really realize because it just isn't. It's not for them. It's for you, and
Right.
whether it's God or the universe or your own brain bringing it to you through your own realization. I want you to talk about your story, how you decided one day you were like, you know what, I want to become a pro driver. I want to do this at the highest level. Tell me about that, and then tell me about some of the subtle signs that you were starting to see that this is the right direction.
Right. So as of you know, and some other people might not know, I was born in Nassau, Bahamas,
Mm-hmm.
and since I was like 4 years old, it's been my dream to do that. Um, when I was like 7 months, my mom took me to my first car show,
Mm-hmm.
and she like told me that she told me that I was fighting out of her hands to like get into the car.
Yeah.
And I guess that's where really like that's what probably was planted in me since I was like 7 months. Because like as a baby, it's like when something is for you. You know when like your parents realize that your child have something in them
Mm-hmm.
and they're just trying to help them grow up to help their child pursue that. So
Yeah.
when I was 4 years old, I started like recognizing that this is something I really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never really had it in my mind, but like because I was watching like my favorite Pixar movie, Cars, as if everybody knows
Yeah.
what that movie is, with
Yeah.
Lightning McQueen and
Definitely.
all that. I would watch like almost constantly every day. Like it would annoy my mother, and like I just didn't really care about it. I just did like it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I really got interested in racing, it was basically the behind the scenes where I got my love for like NASCAR, and I was like, wow, I want to do this, and I was interested.
Mm-hmm.
So as of like as I grow up and now, I would like probably tell people. Some people like tell me, oh, don't die, or like, what if you crash? Or some people would be like, oh, well, that's different. You should go for it because everyone want to be in NBA or NFL or MLB or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I was different. So just thinking about it would lead me into that, and the picturizing and everything with the signs and stuff. I'm gonna just like say like through my journey was very like it was a roller coaster, really.
Yeah.
And I moved up and down. I was like from the Bahamas to America, back to Bahamas to America, then Canada to America, then Bahamas, now back to America. So it was
Wow.
a lot. I've been to like 14 schools, man.
That's
Like I
crazy.
know a lot.
For
Right.
I
It
didn't
was it
know
was
that. I
crazy.
didn't know that about you. That's nuts.
Yeah, I guess I could have put it in there, but yeah, it was 14 schools I've been to. So
Wow.
all of that I really like learned like where I really need to be in life. So when I came back to Nashville, I was going through like a little rough time in my life. I kind of like gave up on it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I just wasn't myself because like you love like when you love something, you really want to do it, and you like just give up on it. You don't really be yourself because that's the thing that really makes you happy. That really makes you excited. That gets your blood like just boiling. It
Mm-hmm.
opens your eyes. It just like it wakes you up every second of the day and say, okay, time to push through to get there. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
when I um when I gave up on, I wasn't myself, and it took basically when I get off from work, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee now, and there's a Bridgestone building and I walked past it, and my first time in my life, I actually saw like a old Indy car from the early 2000s, and I was amazed by it, and I was like, this gotta be a sign for something, man. Like, why am I
Mhm.
seeing this? Because I didn't really want to see none but motor racing.
Yeah.
I just I just was trying to forget about it, but it was so hard to forget. Even
Yeah.
when I look on YouTube, all the videos just popping up, even the ads popping up, like when the next race is gonna be, and I'm like, okay, something's up.
Yeah.
So the next day, when I got off from work, same thing. I saw the car again, but then I went to the when I was gonna go catch the bus to go home, I saw Kevin Harvick's number four um NASCAR car from the 2021 season, and
Wow.
I was like, hold up, I'm seeing a NASCAR car for the first time. But I went up
Wow.
to it and I took a good look into it and I was just amazed. I look inside, I saw the chassis, I saw how everything in the car was just so melded together, and I was just amazed by it. Like it just came back for a short period of time, but then I was
Mhm.
like fighting not to like have it back because I wanted to give up on it, but it was like I can't because that's what used to make me happy. So
Mhm.
I called my mom about it and I was like, Mom, what is this? She say, maybe you should go maybe you should go back to it, you know?
Mhm.
So when I was on Netflix, I got bored, I didn't know what to do. I said, okay, I'm just gonna watch something. So I saw this new Netflix series about Bubba Wallace,
Mm.
and me and my mother was watching it together. And like I was watching it, but then like I was just shaking my head watching it because I just couldn't believe that this is what I want to do. And I'm just shaking my head like, how can I give up on this? You know, that's basically how I felt.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm just kicking myself in the back right now, saying, man, I should have just keep pushing, keep going.
Mhm.
So my mom, she was like, Rain, I can just close my eyes and just see how hurt you are to know that this is what you want to do. And then she said, you know what, forget it. I'm gonna help you get there no matter what. And that right there gave me the push to do this again. I mean, I
Wow.
worked my tail off to get my first NASCAR tickets. And it was so crazy before I think yeah, I got tickets before that, and then the next time I would say, okay, if I'm gonna go to a NASCAR race, I gotta look like I feel in NASCAR, So I got myself a jacket. Didn't know it was gonna be that hot, but I still wore it at the race.
Yeah.
So I
I
went
love
to
that
the
part.
race and I went to the race and I was just amazed, like everything, the crowd, the vibe, just everyone, just you gotta love NASCAR because
Mhm.
that's their sport. And I walked there and I had the jacket on and like everyone's looking around at me like I'm weird. I'm like, Mom, why are they looking at me? And then they say, probably it's that jacket you have on.
Yeah.
Some people was like, you're not hot? I like, no, maybe so. They say, yeah, you're hot.
It's about
But
92
then like at the end,
degrees.
it was around that time. But I was like, okay, well, I'm still gonna wear it. I didn't even
Yeah.
care if I sweat in this thing
You
because I
bought the
wanted to
jacket
wear
at
it.
this point. You committed to that. You
Yeah,
committed.
I'm committed to it. Yes, sir. But then at the race, we was having like rain delays. So
Mm.
throughout like the rain delay, we was just walking around trying to get something to drink because it was hot. And
Yeah.
but like even before the rain delay, like just seeing the vibe when they did the national anthem and when they're saying drivers start your engines and
Mm.
hearing those cars just roaring and just coming out the pit lane, warming up their tires, it's just everything I used to see on TV. Even when I
Mhm.
watch on TV, I would like move my body, like how the cars would like when they're warming up their tires, I would
Yeah.
like move my head, doing it, like feeling like I'm there. And then like when
Wow.
I was there in real life, I was doing it, I was excited. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, it looked like a snake when they're doing it, when they're warming the tires, it looked like a snake.
Mhm.
Like I was
Mhm.
like, wow. And because there was a WWE superstar named Sheamus, he actually waved the green flag. First time seeing him in person.
Yeah.
And when they went by to begin the first lap, just hearing those engines roar, it was like, wow, it amazed me. Like I even got chills. And like
Wow.
my mom didn't even know how loud they were, but they were loud.
Yeah.
Because you might think on TV they just say, oh, they're loud because they're on the track. But then like if you hear them up close, because we
Mhm.
were close to like the track as well, they were loud.
Yeah.
Even a long time NASCAR fan and his father, they were so genuine to give me earpieces and he was teaching me about the grades and like the corners about turn four, and which is a treacherous turn,
Mm.
and like I think it was around almost around turn two or turn three at Nashville. It was like every accident was happening there, and I was like, maybe they need to like rebuild the track or like make something happen so the
Mm-hmm.
cars will be sliding all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just learning, and then like even when the rain delay came, I just still enjoy it because I'm like I'm actually witnessing a NASCAR race for the first time. I'm not like
Yeah.
seeing it on TV or anything.
Yeah.
So funny story, I actually had like a fan interaction, and I felt like a celebrity because I had my jacket. So my mom was taking a picture of me, right?
Uh-huh.
And this guy, he like photobombed in the picture, but then he like run away for jokes. And I called him over. And I said, bro, let's take a picture together. And like we did take a picture together, and he was complimenting me on my jacket. And
Mm-hmm.
it made me feel like so good inside. So we continued to watch the race again.
Mm-hmm.
And then another rain delay happened. And then until like nighttime, and you'll never believe who I saw. I actually saw Richard Pay the King, and
Really?
like I actually saw him because I know that hat. When I see that hat, that cowboy hat
Yeah.
you always wear,
Yeah.
I say, "Mom, I know who that is." She was like, "Who is it?" I say, "Mom, that's Richard Pay the King, number 43."
Mm-hmm.
Man, and like I saw him up close. I mean, I didn't say hi because he was such in a rush to go, but I
Yeah.
saw him. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" It was. I mean, I never saw him because I mean, I saw him on TV, but seeing him in person.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that was amazing. And like so the race was about to start again because it was raining so hard. But I think until nighttime, that's when the race was like going to resume.
Yeah.
And we watched it, but then I believe you had to leave early. So when me and my mom was leaving, she was like, you could stay, but I know my mom was so tired. And like from the track is located in Lebanon. I think I pronounced it wrong. Lebanon, I can't remember, but it's something. It's like Lebanon or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
it was like 30 minutes away. So I said, okay, I gotta keep my mom company when we're driving back home. But when I was leaving the track, like I looked back at the track when we was walking, and I could still hear the cars going past.
Mm-hmm.
And like my mom, she paused and looked at me, and she walked up to me, she said, "You okay?" And I just started crying. She just knew I was about to cry because she knew this what I was going to do,
Yeah.
what I wanted to do. And like I hugged her, and she said, "You're gonna get there. You're gonna make it." And I say, Mom, this has been like amazing seeing my dreams up close. And I couldn't get that day out of my head. But when I woke up the next day, I found that my boy Chase Elliott, he won that race. So I was happy about that too. I was repping him at the race, and I know he was gonna win that race. I even called it. I said, Mom, I think Chase Elliott is gonna win that race. And
Yeah.
he did. Then fast forward around August was IndyCar time, Music City Grand
Mm.
Prix in Nashville.
Yeah.
So this one, it really was like it took I took a big chunk of the cake on this one because this one I met like actually met more people because I know I didn't met Ross Chastain before the NASCAR race
Yeah.
and at my hotel where I used to work at, so that was great, and I saw Daniel Suarez, but actually meeting these people, so I said, okay, if the Music City Grand Prix is gonna be here, I saw on Instagram where they're saying they're gonna like bring the cars and drivers gonna come along and show them off. I
Yeah.
say, I gotta do something about this. So I know I was gonna get off a little early. So I say, I made sure I emailed the Music City Grand Prix organization and say, what time does this thing gonna start? They say around 4 p.m. I say, okay, great. I'm gonna go there. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
on the bus and I'm like, I'm so hot up to get off this bus. Like my foot is tapping because this bus is slow, and I'm trying to get off this bus so I can hurry up get there to meet these people.
Yeah. You were ready
So I
to
say,
go.
okay, hurry up. I was so ready, and I say, come on, bus, you gotta hurry up. The minute I got off that bus, I ran down to Broadway, Nashville, to go see this, and I see how they was bringing the cars. I even saw a Indy car, like it was a mall that they were using, and I saw it up close. I saw the wheel, I saw everything, and I saw a Team Penske car. I think it was the 22. I think that's Simon Pagenaud's car,
Yeah.
the oval. It was the oval kit version, the one they run on the oval at
Mm-hmm.
Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I saw that version and I was amazed by it. I even saw some GT3 cars, and they started bringing more cars. I saw Trans Am and everything,
Oh wow.
and
I think that's like
that's
what
when
I've
I,
seen on your Instagram, right? When you were hopping into one time,
yeah,
is that where
yeah,
you were doing that?
yeah, that's where I went. And when I went there, I was actually on a mission. I was saying, bro, I need to get in contact with these people.
Yeah,
That's what I'm here to do.
yeah.
So I actually saw Rod Reed, who was the owner of Force Indy,
Mm-hmm.
and this lady, she was so genuine. I'll never forget her. I think she's from England, and she was so nice, her and her husband. And she was looking at the cars, and I saying, I think I know that person. I said, man, I want to get his attention. So she was waving at him, and he came this way, and then she was like, I don't know who you are, but this young man next to me, he knows exactly who you are, and he's a big fan of you. He wants to get connected with you, and I think he's an intelligent young man. And I introduced myself, and I was just so thankful for her, and I got his contact, and then
Wow.
it was time. It was great. I got his contact. That's the person I really wanted to get in contact with, which
Mm-hmm.
is great for me. And I
Yeah.
saw his car, which was in front of me. It's a beautiful Indy Lights car. I mean, like seeing it in person. I even touched it.
Oh
It was like
wow.
wow. And they had a barricade, but actually we could walk around the barricades. We could go up close to the cars, and that's where I got a couple posters from, and I got autographs, and I met people. I even met like I remember before all of the they was having the pit stop challenge for IndyCar. I was like meeting people, talking to people. I even met one driver who got into real racing by iRacing.
Oh really?
And yeah, and it was great talking to him, and he was encouraging me, saying I could do it too. And like that video you saw on my Instagram when I was sitting in his car, I met Dylan Archer. That was his car he was driving, and his parents were actually there. His mother was so genuine to record me actually sitting in his car. And
Wow.
it was a little, me and him had like a little crack joke because everyone was struggling to get in the car. He said, yeah, it gets kind of tough because when you look at a Trans Am, it's basically like a streetcar version for NASCAR if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because the way they both get in, it's a little easy for Trans Am because they have like a door.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I saw it, I had to think of how those NASCAR guys get in. So I literally put one hand on the roof and I just slid my body in it. When I did that, Dylan was like, "You done that before?" And I said, "No, I didn't. I just saw it on TV." He
Yeah.
was like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." And then you could have seen me. I was trying to grab the wheel, and he helped me attach it. And I mean, that wheel got so much grip, like so much. And then like I was looking around, looking at the gauges and the switches, and I was like, "Wow, I'm actually in a race car." And I'm like, we turned, and she was like doing the video. And when I got out, I was like, "Man, thank you." And he gave me an autograph, and like he was saying, "Hope to see you out there someday." And that's what other people were saying too. And when it was time for the pit stop challenge, we I saw Felix Rosenquist sitting on the wall, and I just went up to him and I asked for a picture, and he was so cool. I
Yeah.
got his picture, and I even watched the pit stop challenge. I saw Scott Dixon, I saw Pato Ward, I saw Roman Grosjean, and I saw seven-time NASCAR Sprint Cup champion Jimmy Johnson. That
Really?
was incredible.
That's
I was like,
cool.
man, I saw Jimmy. I always wanted to meet him.
Yeah.
And it was great. And after that race, it was like I said, okay, what's next? So I started working towards getting my sim rig. I got me a Thresher TMX and I got me a Playseat Evolution and I started practicing. And I
Nice.
also bought me a Samsung Crystal 4K TV
Nice.
and I started practicing on it, learning it, started making little videos and posting on YouTube with like hot laps around Spa or Imola or Monza.
Mm-hmm.
Still working on those things, and also just visit K1 Speed. Um, I actually been there like I've been there, but before it was K1 Speed, it used to be called the Music City Indoor Karting Grand Prix Place or something like that. And I was having fun, and that's when I met a friend of mine named Chad Baker, and he's raced like Legends cars, and he invited me to the fairgrounds, Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, and I was in the infield. I was meeting people there. I was meeting people, families and cars, and all type of cars. Now there's beating and banging, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, wow, this is really where it started from. And he
Yeah.
told me, when you go on this track, you'll realize you're going through a tunnel where Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt Sr., everybody came from. I'm like, wow. You learn about the greats when you go into an old track like that.
Mm-hmm.
And all I have is respect for those guys because they're the goats of NASCAR and motor racing.
For sure.
But so like even when I went to that go-kart place, it was cool getting in contact with him. And then I haven't been there for a while, so they renamed it the K1 Speed. And actually my mother took me and my grandma there, and I was like, Grandma, you gotta see how I drive, because she never did. So I had the whole go-kart track for myself. And I went out there like by myself, and I was like, wow, like having the visor down and everything. That was
Mm-hmm.
going so fast.
Yeah.
And actually my mom was so genuine to like take to like go to the owner of the place and like let him know that this is what I want to do, this is what her son wants to do. So I was basically I was able to get like private lessons. So
Really.
that was pretty genuine of her. And also I also like beat some friends the other day. Some of them was like one of them was talking smack, so I had to prove him wrong. But just like Ricky Bobby said in Talladega Nights, if you're not first, you're last.
Yeah.
But before it was K1 Speed, I have to go back to basically 2017 when I used to live in Alberta, Calgary. That's when I really got like a feel of go-karting. It's called speeders. So it's just like K1 Speed, but it's just speeders.
Yeah.
Like the carts are the same color, but it's just speeders. And I did great. Like my drum teacher, like awesome dude. His name is Ike. He's teach me how to play drums from time to time, and
Mm-hmm.
good friend. He surprised me by taking me there, and I shocked him by driving. I was like, wow. Like I just did everything I learned from playing a video game. I put on the track. Now
Mm-hmm.
some the people who were there were saying I was too aggressive, but I was like, ain't that's what racing is all about? I mean, like you can't be too aggressive because it might cause an accident. But
Yeah.
like I was just going out there doing my thing. I was ripping up the track. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I was having fun.
Yeah.
So the next time I went there was actually like a birthday, actually, I believe. And it was my drum teacher, my mother, my drum teacher's wife, and the other friend of mine. We were driving, and I remember it was my drum teacher, my friend, and me, and I actually split through them through the middle. And like after that race, like he was like, he's a beast. He actually told this to my mom. They say, yo, your son's a beast. You gotta put him on a track someday, like an actual track, like racing
Yeah.
against people, competing for
How
trophies.
have you turned that subtle imagery, right? That these things that have happened to kind of create this hype in your head, this passion, right? This thing that's kind of helping you drive that passion. How have you turned that? Because I know you said you got your sim setup going now. How and what other
Hmm.
ways have you figured out how to start making this dream a reality and turn it less into a dream? What are you doing now currently that could maybe some people in your position could start doing like today to
Right.
help?
Well, first thing first is having the right mentality, number one.
Mm-hmm.
And because knowing that like us, like we not everyone could have the type of money like get into this thing. So I look at it as there's always other avenues you could go through to get somewhere you want to be in
Mm-hmm.
life.
Mm-hmm.
So even with the sim racing, there's another option you could do is networking, getting connected with people like how I did with you guys
Mm-hmm.
and asking for advice.
Talk about
And
talk about that a little bit more. What do you mean by you guys? Who is you guys, if you don't mind me asking?
like you, Miles, you, Jordan, and
He
everyone in the group that
Guys, he's talking
uh
about the United Drivers of Color chat.
yeah,
I mean, he is talking. I am one of the main guys in the chat, but there are plenty of other drivers in the chat, um, and we basically, sorry, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I was just saying,
it's cool,
you
it's
know,
cool.
we basically help each other prosper. You know what I mean? We give each other advice. We promote each other's content. So if you guys think you could be a good fit for the United Drivers of Color, please hit me up and or hit Rayne up or hit anybody up, and we'll get it going. We'll get you invited. But yeah, continue. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, so like me getting connected with you, Miles, and Jordan and Kamari.
Mm-hmm.
Kamari, I forget his last name, but
Odom.
his yeah, Kamari Odin. I got connected with him first,
Mm-hmm.
and I even got connect. I added two of my friends, Jalen and Oren Reyes, to the group as well. And I was learning a lot from Kamari, and he was like encouraging me and telling me what I should do, basically just to lift me up so I could have a better understanding on where I could go with this.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was like when he was telling me he was in the group, I was saying, man, I gotta get in that group, and he added me, and that's how I got familiar with you and Jordan. I started even talking to Jordan as well, and that's basically what people need. Is like people might say, okay, you just need money, but which is true, but you also get connected because you don't know who might help you get there. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's always connection these days. Like
For sure.
if you like have like a rich person and you're like a middle class person, you could probably get connected with that person. He might help you level up too. And then you might start leveling up people as well because you know the routes that this person helped you get through. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's all about connections and having the right mentality that could help you get where you need to be. And
Yeah.
also believing in yourself and having faith that look, this could work. And like if you give up, there's a saying that like you'll fail when you give up. And
Mm-hmm.
then people, that's the thing with people these days, we're afraid to fail. But in life, we will fail. But there is an option we could do. We'll fall, but we'll choose whether or not to get back up.
Yeah.
And that's basically, if people watching, that's basically what I want to tell them these days is that whatever you want to do in life, whether it's being a racing driver, footballer, or whatever it is, you will fail in life, but at the end of the day, you can learn from it and you'll get back up. You could get yourself back up and just keep pushing, keep striving. You'll get there soon.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't give up and don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to what they have to say because they're afraid of your shine. They're afraid of the light because they don't want to see you shine brighter than them.
Yeah.
And certain people like that, you just gotta cut them off.
Yeah.
But you just gotta have the right mentality to get through this and
Mm-hmm.
getting connections. And learning is another thing. Like watching videos like what you told me about Driver 61
Mm-hmm.
by getting faster and learn about braking and all that trail braking. That's like someone you would probably I would advise them to watch that person and learning about on racing on YouTube videos to get yourself better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so that's basically what I have to say on that part.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with that. Like, a lot of people kind of get stuck in this mindset where they're like, okay, where do I go from here? And like, dude, like people don't even realize we're in the age of information. You know what I mean? Like the
Hmm.
internet is a beautiful thing. As much as it can be distracting, and as much as it can be, this and that, and overstimulating this and whatever. There's so much information on how to become a faster driver, a more what's the word I'm looking for? Not only faster, but also more valuable. Because just because you're fast doesn't mean that you can bring a team value. You know what I mean? If you're fast, you could be the fastest driver out of the whole F1 field, but if you don't bring, anybody value, you know what I mean? They're not gonna really look at you. You're not gonna get into
Right,
F1 without bringing that value. You know what I mean? Whether it's through
right.
social media or through some sort of backing. You know what I mean? You need
Hmm.
to have, more to you than just being a driver nowadays. That's one thing I
Hmm.
learned a lot from Jesse Awuji, right? Is he would
Right,
he would definitely say like, look,
right.
most people think that they can just get in this just by being a driver, and you need more than that now. You know what I mean? Maybe back in the day, or maybe if you're a certain type of looking person, you look a certain way and you have the money, maybe you can just be the driver. But for most people, you need to be a step above the competition a bit, which is still doable, you know?
Right.
And another thing I feel like is pretty slept on too is comparison, but in a healthy way, right?
Right.
So, I learned that from Sulio. I can't remember his last name, but he's a pretty famous iRacer, and he, esports kind of champion. And he talks about comparison, taking yourself, what your times are, and comparing them to the faster guy, right? And figuring out
Right.
how you can match that time and how you can even be faster than that time, right? So it takes a lot of practice and effort, but it's definitely doable.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I definitely want to stress to you, Rayne, and also like just people that are watching, like, like it takes a certain mindset for sure. You're absolutely right about that. Like the way you learn has to change. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about like just you. I'm just talking about in general. Like uh
Oh, absolutely,
the
absolutely.
way you learn has to be in a productive manner. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I know what you
it
mean.
took me a long time to get to that moment. So if I can ever help anyone, you know, kind of switch that narrative from themselves and kind of like maybe see like a different point of view, because perspective is everything, right? I
Mm.
mean, perspective, the way someone looks at some glass, right? And maybe that person sees a glare in the glass, and then you step to the side and you can see right through the glass. You know what I mean? Like that's what
Right.
perspective is all about. We could be looking at the same thing, but since we're looking at it from different perspectives, you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
that's a really big underlooked kind of way. Like people look at the same things completely different. And you need to
Right.
be like grabbing as many perspectives as you can, so your perspective can kind of you can see as little glare as possible when you're trying to reach your goal. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I really liked the imagery. I'll share a small story. With me, I remember going. I was taking a jog down the road, and I actually talked to you about this already, Rayne, but I
I
just
love
kind of
this
want to
story.
share it. I was taking a jog down the road, right, and I just remember it wasn't even raining, but for some reason I just could hear this, like just this loud humming, like engine roar, and it went right
Hmm.
past me. Right, this white Indy car went right past me. Right, and I could see it had rain tires on, and it had rain, like pretty much a spray of the rain coming off the car right past me. Right now, obviously the car didn't really come past me, but like I saw it clear as day. I heard it and I felt it. Like I felt the rumble in my chest of the car going past me. Woo!
Right.
Just right past me. And it was the most surreal experience, one of the most surreal experiences of my life. I'll never forget it. Where my brain was just able to create this image, this imagery, and no one else would, like, someone could be jogging with me, no one else would see that. You know what I mean? That's something that's personal to you. That's something that's like that your body, your brain, whoever's talking to you, they put that in front of you for a reason. That's why I brought Rayne on here, because I loved his story, and I want you guys to know that you guys need to listen to yourself. When you see things like that, those subtle images and those subtle like those just kind of signs, you feel like it's a sign and you've been ignoring it, don't ignore it, because you know exactly what that was. You don't even have to like, you know exactly what that was. You know exactly what it meant, and you can put it together for yourself. No one else can put that together for you.
Right.
So I wanted to bring Rayne on for that, and I really appreciate you, Rayne,
Yeah,
for
thank you.
talking.
100%. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
I really appreciate you, talking about your story, and us kind of being able to share that moment, because I really think that that's so important, is that imagery. That's just how it starts. So many
Hmm.
racers take this submissive attitude where they're like, oh, well, I'm too old, or I'm not really good enough, or I'm not, yeah, I would like to be pro, but I could never be good enough. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
It's,
what are you talking about?
yeah, like I said before, our mind is the most powerful thing in the world. We could
Exactly.
mind will always play games on us. And I still struggle from time to time when
Yeah.
I hear like that negativity voice, but you can't listen to it.
Yeah, you
You
can't. It's
know,
not easy.
sometimes like when you just said like with drivers who would say, "Oh, well, I want to go pro, but I'll never go pro," is basically you're basically putting negativity over what could be a positivity. You know, like
Yeah.
why would you think negative? Like, okay, like
Mm-hmm.
let's say, okay, well, I can't like if you're gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna lift up this weight. I say, man, I want to do it, but I'm so scared. See, sometimes fear can always eat us. It can
Mm-hmm.
eat us to like stop us. It can make us stop us from not doing what we want to do.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people just go wrong. And then and life you just can't do that. Like having the right type of mindset
Mm-hmm.
is the biggest thing you need,
Mm-hmm.
and like I really enjoyed this podcast with you, man. It's been an
Yeah.
honor
It's
and
been
privilege.
really
I
good.
really
It
enjoyed
turned
this,
out
man.
really, really good, actually. So I really appreciate you coming on. I think this is where we're gonna wrap it up. But I want to say thank you, Rayne, for uh, coming on the show. But also, I want to wish you luck. Not even luck. I want to wish you like I want to congratulate you almost, actually, on your on you finding your journey. And I know you're gonna do great things. You know what I mean? That's already set in stone. It's how great you want it to be, right? So keep pushing yourself, keep getting out that comfort zone of yours. Your comfort zone is very, very small, which I like about you, is that you don't really, you're willing to just get out the comfort zone. You're willing to ask the questions. You don't care if you're gonna embarrass yourself or not, because you just want to do it. You just want to be there so bad. There's so many people I know that like they let their ego get in the way of stuff, of their
Right.
greatness. So no, I really like you, Rayne, and I really want
Yeah.
to. I'm excited to see what you're capable of. Knocking off my stuff, but yeah, we're all gonna make it. So I
Yes, sir.
appreciate you, man. But yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
wrap it
thanks,
up.
man.
And thanks again, guys, for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe. I'll make sure Rayne's Instagram is up on the video, and maybe an image of him as well, just so you guys can kind of get a feel of who he is and where you can find him and stuff. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Uh, there will be definitely more videos coming out soon, and we'll even have some gear that you guys will be able to wear to represent the culture. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to see what we can do about that. But all right, guys, have a good one. Be safe. Love you guys. Goodbye.